Toyota has a long history of making awesome sports cars. The 2000 GT, the Supra, the Celica, and now its heritage continues with the Toyota 86, the newest, coolest member of the family. The 86 traces its lineage right back to this car, the 5th generation of the Toyota Corolla, known to its true fans as the AE86 or the Hachiroku. It's a cult classic, and it's a car that I know really well. I'm Pat Sear, and I've owned many original AE86s. I restore them, I drive them, I drift them. So to celebrate the launch of the new Toyota 86, we're gonna honor where it came from by restoring an original 30-year-old AE86 to all its glory. Just look at this. It's been sitting out in the field for 10 years now. But we're gonna break it down and build it back up to show the DNA of the new Toyota 86 as it launches a new chapter in Toyota's sports car history. A restoration like this usually takes a year, but we're gonna do this one in just 86 days. Welcome to Project 86. The Project 86 car is in pretty rough shape. With so much to do, we've got our work cut out for us. We're taking the entire car apart, replacing and rebuilding everything, right down to the last detail. With any type of build or restoration, you gotta start from the bottom and work your way up. So we've installed the car on a rotisserie to make it a lot easier to work on the bottom. The car comes from the East Coast, and that means it's gone through some pretty rough winters. So it needs a little more work than we had anticipated. We're focusing now on the chassis, basically the foundation of the car, and trying to get it ready to go. We've built one-off patch panels that fit perfectly to the chassis. Hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have all the holes patched up and we'll be ready to drop the chassis off for paint. Car restoration is truly a job of passion. It's a labor of love, even under such a tight deadline. Up next, we'll be diving into the heart of the beast, the engine. While the car was out for paint, we got to work on the engine, and it's actually in really good shape. We're installing a Toyota 4AGE Blacktop. It's a 20-valve inline 4-cylinder engine. We'll be taking it apart and replacing the head gasket, the oil pump, the timing belt, and any other worn-out parts. The rest we're detailing to as-new condition. It's gonna look brand new again. After that, we're putting it all back together, which gets pretty intense. We have to make sure that everything is rebuilt perfectly, or we're gonna have a blown engine. After it's rebuilt and looking fresh, we'll rewire the entire thing. So when you pop the hood, it'll just be a jewel of an engine, no clutter. So here we are, and the car is fresh back from paint. The paint looks great, it's been buffed out, it's nice and smooth, everything turned out awesome. And now it's all hands on deck trying to get this car put back together. We have everything we need to get Project 86 done, along with some really cool rare parts. Lots of these parts are almost impossible to find these days, but it's been well planned and we've been saving these pieces for this car for years. So it's gonna be cool to see it all come together. We've replaced some worn parts, but we're gonna keep the engine relatively stock. We want a car that runs smoothly, something you can drive every day, but also take to the track as well. With the engine in, we'll start installing the windows and the lights. I'm pretty confident we'll make this build happen before the 86-day deadline. But ask me again in 2 weeks and you might get a different answer. If everything goes according to plan, the next time you see this car, it'll be ready to drive. Well, here we are. 86 days after we started Project 86. It's been quite an experience, giving this old AE86 a new lease on life. We took the whole thing apart and built it back up. And now, well, just take a look. We've rebuilt and restored this old classic. We patched it up, primed and painted it, and put on some really cool, really rare parts. We've rebuilt a classic engine, and it's been tested to its limits on the dyno machine. You can really see why this car has such a loyal fan base. It's quick, cool, and can tear up the track with the best of them. Just like its spiritual successor, the Toyota 86. It may be hard to track down one of these old AE86s and nearly impossible to get it in this kind of shape. But luckily, you can get the same type of exhilaration from the new Toyota 86. Up next, we take a closer look at the new Toyota 86. You've already seen us restore the legend. Now we're gonna take a closer look at the legacy. The Toyota 86 is an absolute stunner, inspired by classic Toyota sports cars like the Sports 800, the 2000 GT, and the Project 86 car, the AE86. When you take a step back and you look at this car, you can tell its roots come from a long line of Toyota sports cars. It's got sharp lines, a low aggressive stance, dual exhaust, and 17-inch alloy wheels. It has agile, intuitive handling thanks to its super low center of gravity and its ultra light curb weight. And finally, the engine. The Toyota 86 boasts a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with D4S direct injection. This front-mounted boxer engine with rear-wheel drive is what makes this so enjoyable to drive. So there you have it, the new Toyota 86, the vehicle that's bringing sports cars back to the Toyota lineup.